In our early cabin days, we'd spend most of our early nighttime hours around the campfire outside. Back in that day, the cabin was pretty rough inside, and we were so overjoyed about being up here in the woods that we wanted to spend as much time outside as we could. So then I think as the cabin got fancier inside and more amenities, it became easier to spend more time in there. And I'm not usually a big one for having fires, but since I've got this one going anyway, getting all these dead trees cut up, kind of getting our cabin site prepped. Beautiful night too. It's been a little drizzly on and off for, well, 4 or 5 days now. That's why it's been such a good time to be burning up here. But I think now tomorrow's going to, in fact, I saw a little bit of sunshine today in the afternoon, a little bit of sunshine. So, but as I go through on this project of clearing this, getting this ready for this cabin site, I got thinking about, you know, the old days when the early settlers come up here. Well, they got here and their main thing was they needed to get a cabin up and needed to get it up fast. So there was none of this taking away the humus layer on top so that the logs will last longer. There was nothing about bringing in rocks and set it up on rocks to begin with so it would last a long time. They were under the gun to get the walls up and a roof over their head before the snow got flying too much. Now this cabin that I'm in, my cabin project here, the guest cabin, which I really hope people take advantage and use that. I'm kind of putting it up as instead of being a 30-year cabin like some of the old ones were at best, hopefully it'll be about a 300-year cabin or more, because the one using tamarack logs, which are really a good long-lasting sound wood, I've cored it out so there's no humus going to be underneath the cabin. I'm going to be able to pull that sand back and then put a good vapor barrier and then put some sand on top of the sand. I'm going to put the vapor barrier down 2 or 3 inches and have some sand on top so the mice don't get it chewed up. And that should help with any moisture problems on the floor. And since it's going to be up on a rock foundation, it's going to have a good overhang on it. And I'm going to put a metal roof on. It should be a cabin that might hang in there for a couple centuries. At least that's the goal. And that's why after I spent the last 2 or 3 days just trying to prep this site, I can see where the old timers they skipped all that and they started chopping logs and chopping them and notching them and laying them in place. I've got the pleasure of taking years to get this thing put up, which that's what we're getting into here. Cool enough now, the heat even feels pretty good, and sit here and enjoy for a while. Well, I know it's Tuesday, but I've already forgotten what the day was. You know, I got about 6 days left. If this is Tuesday, I'm going to be driving home next Monday. So that's the important thing, is that I remember my days, because my great niece is getting married on the 4th, so I need to go home the 2nd and get a haircut on the 3rd. Get some things ready to go for the big wedding. Oh, you can't see it here, but the sun's actually shining and the sky's pretty blue. First time we've had that in about, what, 5, 6 days, so yeah, that'll be welcome. I'm going to take advantage of it. I'm going to let my fire burn down over there. Yeah, it's burning again. Let it burn down. The ground's really wet. You couldn't get a fire going on here if you wanted to with a spark. Take my little chainsaw, and I want to take the trail out for a mile or two where we come in the wintertime. There's always some dead trees that have fallen across that, and it's so much easier to cut them and move them now when they're not laden with snow and buried deep in there maybe, and you stumble across them. So, and I'm going to take a Take one of Vonnie's apple pies along, maybe a little thermos of tea. It's a work day, but I get that far out, sun's shining. Try to make it as enjoyable as possible and enjoy my time out there. Yesterday morning, there was like 17 spruce grouse here, and when I got up this morning at daylight, there was a few out here, and now I see one straggler come back in again, so that traffic's starting to pick up. I've got a few people that are wondering when there's a good time to come out and see them, and I've been telling them October 5th, because it just seems like after the 1st, this whole grit thing with the spruce grouse, maybe they'll figure it out someday, but I think it's got to do with the changing in their diet. And they really need to pile in that grit because, you know, in the spring they're hardly around. In the wintertime they come in a little bit, but not a lot. But boy, this early October is just a time that, well, the yard's crawling with them sometimes. The gray jays were around this morning and had a few, well, I caught 5 mice last night, I'll be honest. We got our little walk the plank mousetrap in there that I'll explain to you. I showed it before, but I'll show it again because it's a slick little deal. It just sits on the side of my wash bucket, and if the gangplank drops away, and they drop into the water and plunk all night long. Well, that's a good thing. Anyway, the Canada Jay's got the mice, but I'm out of pancakes, so I think my morning breakfast is going to be some pancakes, and I'll make a few extra for them to last the next couple days. And I'm going to pack up and hit the trail. Well, no hurry. Yeah, I've noticed the colors are changing early this year, I think. I mean, you know, maybe they're on time, but much last year, when I left here like the 10th of October, and things were still really green yet. Well, you can see that little birch tree behind me that's it's even losing its leaves already, so I think we're more on a regular schedule. I'm sure how dry it was up here this summer added a lot to the early colors. It's always so hard to catch these spruce grouse in the sunlight. This morning it's cool enough and the sun's not very high, though he seems to be content to be here in the spotlight. Another day about gone. Had a visitor today. Walleye Don showed up, so you know what that means. Walleye for supper. Well, he apologized. He didn't need to. These aren't really walleye. He said the fishing's been pretty tough. He went out yesterday trying to get me some dinner, and he came up with all these little Sauger. Well, you know anything about Sauger, you know that there's a little smaller variety of walleye, and they're even better. So, get a pan of those going. Have a good supply of hash browns. Yeah, this morning I was just playing around with those last grouse pictures. This is my backup camera, so I'm playing around with some adjustments and trying things to see, you know, what makes the best picture. So checking out with the grouse, and all of a sudden Don showed up. Usually gets here a little earlier than that, but I was ready to have a little breakfast and head out and work on a trail all day. And so I'm glad he got here in time. Well, we had a good leisurely day. Of course, he brought out some Johnsonville brats too. Of course, I already had those fires going outside, so that worked out really well. I fixed him a pancake when he first got here to fortify his walk in. We took a long walk out to Hawks Pond and around, and we came back and sat with the fire a while and put those brats on with the fire out there and made a good day out of it. He just caught these walleye yesterday, so we put them in the freezer, but they had hardly frozen, so I thawed them out. I thought, well, isn't anything else on the schedule tonight for supper, so Sauger it is. You know how it is, the older we get, the harder it is to keep the weight off, so I'm trying just to have, you know, not go back for seconds. You know, that's kind of one rule. Don't go back for seconds, kind of hold it down. You know. So, with that in mind, I'm sure glad that Bonnie sent along this bigger, like a bowl-like plate, because I'm not going back for seconds anymore.